Hi, I'm Todd Russell, and I'm a certified financial planner professional in Nashville, Tennessee. I created this site and these videos to teach and inform about long-term care insurance product solutions, how they work, the different plans, and to inform you as a consumer what is available in the marketplace so that you can make a well-informed decision. This presentation is a review of some of the provisions commonly included in policies, who can be care providers, where it can be delivered, and a few other items. If you have a policy or you're considering one, please make sure to actually reference the specific policy for the details. This is a general overview. You can find more videos and information on my website at www.myltciplan.com. So let's start with where care may be provided. When most people think about long-term care, their thoughts generally first go to a nursing home, but care can be provided in a lot of different settings. Most care today starts at home due to a gradual physical or cognitive decline, and that's where people feel most comfortable and they desire to age in place when they're in their home. An assisted living facility is a step up from care received in the home, and it generally helps with daily needs, but it's not full-blown skilled nursing care. And a nursing home is generally a skilled nursing facility with medical supervision and people who need more hands-on care. And there are going to be some policies that support benefits for hospice care, which is just for the end-of-life needs. So when it comes to who can provide care, this is where the policy details really matter. So I want to define a few terms for you. First is formal caregivers. This will include licensed professionals like home health aides, CNAs, or registered nurses. Caregivers employed through home health care agencies would often be considered to be formal caregivers. Family members are often specifically excluded from being formal caregivers unless they're regularly employed by a home health care agency. And formal caregivers are generally required by most reimbursement style plans. So informal caregivers, on the other hand, may be family members, they may be friends, neighbors, and they generally don't have to be employed by a home health care agency. And these types of caregivers are usually included in indemnity style plans, but some reimbursement plans do allow for limited benefits for informal caregivers. And I know I probably sound like a broken record if you've watched any of the other videos, but it is extremely important to understand how your policy defines eligible caregivers. So if you're considering one or if you currently have a policy, you want to make sure you understand the specific definitions when it comes to formal and informal caregivers. So I've mentioned in other videos that the terms and definitions matter. I always encourage people to read their policies if they have one, or if they're considering one, you need to get a sample policy and read it. And so this slide shows the informal caregiver definition listed in two separate policies. I thought I'd give this as an example to show you how the same term is defined different ways in two separate policies. So let's take policy 1 here, and you'll see that it shows the informal caregiver, and it specifically, I'll give you a minute to read this, but it specifically excludes the insured's spouse from being a formal caregiver. So just take a minute and read that. And then you'll notice in policy 2, and I offset it so my talking head could still be on the screen, you'll see that once you read this, it does not specifically exclude anything about an insured's spouse, but it lists insured's family, friend, or neighbor can be providers as far as their informal caregivers. So I think, again, this is just a good example of how you need to make sure you read the differences between the policies, because the definitions reference the same term, but they have completely different meanings when you read the definitions. And that'll make a big impact when it comes the time of claim. So you may remember this slide from one of the other presentations that I did, but I wanted to show it again just as a reminder of the differences between reimbursement plans and indemnity plans and how they pay for care. So let's say you have a long-term care policy with a $6,000 monthly benefit, and this month you received $4,800 worth of home health care, and that was billed to you from a licensed agency. Well, if your policy is a reimbursement-based plan, the insurance company is only going to pay you back the $4,800 that you spent because they're going to reimburse you the $4,800 of qualified long-term care expenses. And the remaining $1,200 is going to stay in your benefit pool, and you can use it later. You don't lose it, but you just can't use it that month. And so you're only reimbursed what you paid out of pocket. So contrast that with the indemnity style plan, and it's going to work a little differently. So take the same set of facts. You have a policy with a $6,000 monthly benefit, and even if your monthly bill from the home health agency that month is $4,800, the indemnity style plan is still going to pay you the $6,000 from the carrier, because the indemnity just pays out whatever the flat amount is if you receive long-term care services for that month. So that money can be used to pay the home health care agencies, and then the rest of the money can be banked to use for meals, transportation, supplies, or even paying a family caregiver. You're not going to need receipts, and there's no adjustment to the benefit pool. So again, both styles, reimbursement and indemnity, have their place, but if you're looking for the maximum amount of flexibility, in my opinion, an indemnity style plan provides that more so than a reimbursement. So we covered where care may be provided, by whom and how in this video. So I would encourage you to continue learning more about this subject of long-term care, and you'll find a lot more videos and content on my website, which is www.myltciplan.com. And if you're interested in pricing out a policy for yourself, I have cost samples on my website under the See What It Costs tab, so feel free to visit that tab and look around. And every plan can be tailored to your age, health, and budget. So if you would like a personalized quote, you can request that through the link in the YouTube description below or through my website listed above.